Hello, hi to everyone. Namaskar to all the students of CA Foundation. My dear students, we have completed around 7 classes in bills of exchange. Now we are into the most important session, my dear students, that is called accommodation of a bill. What it is called? Please remember here accommodation of a bill. See what happens in accommodation of a bill. We have a two persons called A and B. What happens, in the beginning, A is a drawer, then who is B? B is a drawee, B is a debtor. Okay, it means B has to pay some money to A. For this, A draws the bill. After some time, B draws the bill. So who is B? B is a drawer, and then A becomes what? Drawee. A is a debtor. It means a accommodation happened between A and B, which is a mutually, because of some earlier transactions, because of the transactions which are took place before this particular bills of exchange. In such case, what happens? Here B has to pay some money to A. After that, A has to pay some money to B because of the transactions which are mutually exchanged between the two parties. Now the thing is, we have to record the transactions in which book? Assume that if you are recording a transactions in the books of A, we can say that A is hum, A is me, A is Nanu. We have to record the transactions by keeping A in our mind. If you are asked to record the transactions in the books of B, then you have to shift yourself from A to B. Then we have to say that B is Nanu, B is hum, B is me. Please you remember this particular illustration. Okay, let me sum up the mutual accommodation. See, in case of mutual accommodation, the transactions which are taken place between the two parties called A and B, wherein in the beginning A draws the bill on a B, so B has to pay money to A, B is a debtor to A. After some dates, after some month, the situation, the scenario is reversed, wherein A has to pay money to B, then B draws the bills of exchange, A becomes a debtor. That is the situation, that is the scenario of the mutual accommodation, my dear children. This is a very, very important problem for our CA foundation exams. It is not so as easy as earlier problems. We have to give a lot of concentration to understand such kind of problems under the what? Mutual accommodation. Shall we move on to the problems, my dear children? See what happened here. First, let me see in whose book we have to record the transactions. Pass necessary journal entries for the above transactions in the books of Suresh. Okay, who is Suresh? Suresh is hum, Suresh is Nanu. Also show Anup's account. Oh, we have to prepare ledger account also, my dear students. Anup's account we have to prepare in the books of whom? Suresh. So who is Suresh? Nanu. See, in earlier classes, if you see the first video, again I'm telling you, to understand any problem in bills of exchange, I request my dear students, please see the first video which is being taken nearly for more than 1 hour 9 minutes. There explained all the important key points of this particular chapter. If he becomes insolvent, if my debtor is insolvent, whatever the money which we fails to recover from private property, that goes to the bad debts. If I becomes insolvent, I means the drawer. If the drawer, the person in whose books the transactions are recorded, the person in whose books the transactions are recorded, that person is called I, hum, nanu. If nanu is insolvent, the difference is to be transferred, my dear students, to the deficiency account. Please remember, if the debtor is insolvent, transfer to bad debts. If I is insolvent, transfer to deficiency account. These are the two important things you need to remember in mutual accommodation for bill. Fine. Shall we move on to the solution? Okay. Before solution, let us have a format. A very important, please concentrate. It's a very big video also. See, Suresh draws a bills of exchange for 15,000 on Anup's on 15th April 2020. For how many months? For 3 months. Who is Suresh? Drawer. Who is Suresh? Drawer. Who is Suresh? Drawer. Drawer is Nanu. Which Anup returns it to Suresh after accepting. Then who is Suresh? Suresh is a drawee. Suresh is Avanu. Suresh is Hune. Suresh is debtor. Suresh is debtor. Sorry. It is accepted by whom? Anup returns it to Suresh after acceptance. Anup is a drawee. Anup is Avanu. Anup is debtor because drawn by Suresh, accepted by Anup. Now let us write in our notes like Suresh is equals to drawer Nanu hum. Who is accepted? Anup is acceptor. Anup is drawee. Anup is Avanu. He is a debtor. Okay. When the bill is drawn by Suresh on 15th April 2020, right? Bill drawn. Bill is drawn for how much? Bill is drawn for rupees 15,000. How many months? A bill is drawn for a period of 3 months. Okay, fine. Suresh gets it discounted with the bank for 14,700 on 18th April. When it is discounted, see here, on 18th April 20, since it is mutual accommodation, my dear students, since it is a mutual accommodation, I use the name of the person whenever it is discounted. Suresh discounted the bill. When the Suresh discounted the bill, what happened to Suresh? The bank balance increased, discounted for how much? 14,700. अब डिस्काउंट कितना हुआ? Discount is 300. The total comes to rupees 15,000. What is the total, my dear students? The total is 15,000. Fine. बाद में क्या हुआ देखिए ना. And this is a very important sentence. And remits 1/3 to Anup. How much is remitted to Anup? 1/3 is remitted to Anup. Remitted to Anup means given to Anup. How much is given to Anup? 1/3 is given to Anup. Fine. Let me write here. One-third given to Anup. Now, you are recording the transactions in whose book? We are recording the transactions in the books of Suresh. When Suresh gives to Anup, what happened? For Suresh, cash decreases. Am I right? For Suresh, when one third is given to Anup, for Suresh, the cash decreased. How much? One third. What is the one third of 14,700? Cash paid, you can say. Instead of cash given, we can say cash paid. Okay. When we paid the cash, obviously cash decrease. For whom? Suresh. For Suresh, cash decrease because we are recording in the book of Suresh. For cash paid, how much? One third. Take one third of 14,700. What is one third of 14,700? It comes to rupees 4,900. Then we have to take discount also. How much amount of discount? Out of 300, you take one third. See, out of 300, you take one third. One third comes to 100. It is 5,000. Okay. Now, for a time being, you work out the gap. The gap between these two is 10,000 rupees. Remember this gap, it is a very important point for further calculation. See, क्या हुआ इधर? सुरेश ने डिस्काउंट किए, the whole bill amount is 15,000, उसमें one third अनूप को दे दिया, means it is speaking about total is 5,000. Okay, now how much is retained by Suresh? 2/3, that comes to total of 10,000 rupees. बाद में क्या हुआ देखिए ना sentence. On the due date of the bill, Suresh fails to remit the amount due to Anup. Who is Suresh? नानु, हम. हमें अनूप को पैसे देने के लिए फेल्यूर हो गए. We failed to pay the amount to Anup. But he accepts the bill. Who accepts the bill? Suresh accepts the bill. When Suresh accepts the bill, Suresh become what? Debtor. Then Anup become what? Anup become what now? Drawer. My dear student, this is called accommodation of a bill. Till now Suresh is drawer, right? But now on the due date, Anup is a drawer, Suresh is a drawee. As Suresh fails to pay the amount due to Anup. Are you getting my word? This is called the mutual accommodation of a bill. Shall we write? What happened now? Let me write. On what date? On due date. कैसे फाइंड आउट करना ड्यू डेट? 15th अप्रैल को आपने बिल ड्रॉ किए, 3 months, 15, 3 ग्रेस डेज, वी आर गेटिंग 18th. अप्रैल से 3 months, मई, जून, जुलाई. Is it right? 18th July 2020. Who draws the bill? Anup draws the bill. Suresh accepted the bill. Now let me write. Anup draws the bill. Suresh accepted the bill. Anup draws the bill. Suresh accepted the bill. Means, since we are recording the entries in the books of Suresh, for Suresh, it is BP. For how much the bill is accepted? The bill amount is how much? See, what is the bill amount? 17,500 for 3 months. How much? 17,500 for how many months? For a period of 3 months. Did you understood? देखिए ना बाद में क्या हुआ? See what happened. Which Anup discounted for 17,100. Oh, अब Anup क्या किए? Discount किए. Let me move on to next page. Who is discounted? Who discounted the bill? Anup. Yeah. When Anup discounted? Anup discounted, the bill date is not given, so we have to write the same date, that is 18th July 2020. Who discounted? Anup discounted the bill. Obviously, we can say that whoever discounted the bill, the bank balance will increase. My dear student, listen with carefulness. Discounted for how much? 17,100 rupees. Now the discount is how much? Discount is the bill amount is how much? The bill amount is 15,000. Discount comes to 400. So let me write 17,500. Did you understood? Now Anup discounted the bill. What happened next? Before and remits 2,825 to Suresh. Remit 2,825 to Suresh means we can say that Suresh, who is Suresh? We are Suresh, right? We are preparing entries in the books of Suresh. Suresh means we. Suresh received money from Anup. Who received money from Anup? Suresh received. Suresh means we. Let me write. Remitted to Suresh means we received. What we received? We received cash. How much cash is received by Suresh? Suresh received a cash of how much, my dear student? Suresh received 2,825. Let me write 2,825. Then we have to work out the discount. Now the problem is how to work out the discount. It's a very, 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 very important point. Remember how to work out the discount. I tell you how to work out. You take 400 is a discount for an amount of 17,100. 400 is a discount for rupees 17,100 into remember 400 is a discount for 17,100. Now how much cash is received by this Suresh? 2,825. Fine. Go back to previous page. What is the gap? 10,000. Please remember, you take this 2,825 plus gap 10,000. Put together how much? 12,825. Use a calci. 400 by 1,700 into 12,825. Again I am telling you, my dear student, how to take this 12,825. Whatever the amount received by Suresh means me from Anup plus the gap that what we found in the earlier transaction. The adding of these two number is 12,825. Your discount comes to rupees 300. Now आप लोगों ने add करना, that is 3,125. Did you understood? This is a very important key point. Remember how to work out a discount. I explain in next classes also, but concentrate. See what happened before the maturity of the renewed bill or before the maturity of the renewed bill. Suresh becomes insolvent. Who is Suresh? Nanu. Suresh is insolvent means what? Nanu insolvent. Remember. And only 50% was realized from his estate on 31st October 2020. Date with the what to write date? 31st October 2020. Suresh is insolvent means Nanu. When Nanu is insolvent, when I is insolvent, you know very well from my earlier transaction in previous classes and all, what you drawn, what you accepted. Did Suresh drawn a new bill? No, my dear student. Anup draws a new bill. Suresh accepted a new bill. I add a word. Anup draws a new bill. Anup draws, I can say Anup draws new bill. Suresh accepted new bill. For Suresh it is what? BP. For Suresh it is what? BP. Now what to do? Cancel the new BP. What we have to cancel? New BP. Because Suresh accepted a bill which is drawn by Anup earlier to this transaction. Earlier what we used to do, cancel new BR, cancel renewed BR, but here cancel not renewed BR, it is a renewed BP because Suresh accepted a bill drawn by Anup. बाद में क्या हुआ, Suresh is insolvent, Nanu is insolvent. देखिए ना next, and only 50% realized from his private estate. Means what? 50% recovered from my estate. 50% is recovered. See, what is the amount of the new BP? What is the amount of new BP, my dear student? New BP amount is how much? New BP amount is 17,500. How to write? 17,500. 50% recovered from my estate. How to work out this 50% recovered from my estate? I tell you how to work out. Because it is not a normal problem. It is a mutual accommodation. How to work out this amount due from Suresh to Anup? You take this 3,125 plus gap. How much gap? Gap is 10,000. Gap is 10,000. Put together 13,125. Here we have to take 50%. That 50% amount comes to rupees 6,523.22.5. You take 6,523. बाद में another 50% क्या होता? 50% deficiency. Why deficiency? I becomes insolvent. Here Nanu insolvent. हम insolvent हो गए. So it deficiency. It comes 6,522. 1 rupee less. Because the total amount comes to rupees 13,125. It is recovered from whom? From my estate. This is all about all the explanation, my dear student. After explanation, let us go for journal entries. Journal entries in the books of Suresh. See, especially in CA classes, every student should go for working note. Without working note, you won't get full allotted marks, because in CA foundation, mentioning of working note is very important. Okay, fine. Shall we move on to entries? 15th April 2020, bills drawn means bills receivable increased, debtor decreased. BR increased means debit, debtor increased means credit. Who is debtor time being? Anup is a debtor. Now the journal entry is bills receivable account debit to debtors account. What is the date? 15th April 2020. Bills receivable account debit to Anup's account. 15,000 dash 15,000 being bills drawn. Fine. After drawing the bill, what happened? See what happened. On 18th April, Suresh discounted the bill. Who is Suresh? Hum. When we discounted the bill, what happened? Our bank balance increased. It is to be debited. It is a discount. It is to be debited. Your bills receivable decreased. It is to be credited. Entries: bank account debit, discount account debit, to bills receivable account. On what date, my dear student? On 18th April 2020. Bank account debit, discount account debit, to bills receivable account. It is discounted for 14,700. Discount is 300, 15,000. Being bills discounted. Fine. What happened next? Then what happened? 1/3 is given to Anup. When 1/3 is given to Anup, please remember from Suresh angle, when 1/3 is given to Anup, what happened? For Suresh, cash decreased. For Suresh, cash decreased. It is to be credited. Discount is also to be credited. Right? Given to whom? This is given to Anup. Anup is to be debited. Because Anup is a receiver of cash. Your creditor will decrease, your debtor will decrease. It is to be credited. Because you have given money to Anup. Anup is a receiver of money. Anup's account debit to cash account to discount account. What's the date? Same date. Anup's account debit 5000 dash. I preferably use cash rather than bank. It is how much? Cash is 4900. To discount account 100. Being 1/3 given to Anup. हो गया अब? Is it finished, my dear student? What happened? Then next. Go for next concept. Anup draws a new bill. What happened? Anup draws a new bill. Suresh accepted a bill. Who accepted the bill? Suresh accepted the bill. You are doing answer for whom? Suresh. When Suresh accepted the bill, what happened? For Suresh, it is a BP. BP increased. Creditor decreased. Who is creditor? Same Anup only. When BP liability increased, it is liability, right? When liability increased, it is to be credited. Anup decreased. As a creditor decreased, it is to be debited. Because it is just a reverse entry of BR. What is a BR entry? BR account debit to Anup. Now for BP, when you accept it, when it becomes a BP, Anup's account debit to BP. What BP it is? New BP it is. Fine. Let me write. On what date? On what date, my dear student? This happened on 18th July 2020. We accepted a bill, right? Now the entry is Anup's account debit to new BP account for 17,500 being new BP accepted. See, we accepted a new BP. When we accepted a new BP, see what happened? So we have accepted a new BP. I hope you understood, right? When bill is drawn, BR account debit to debtor. When we accepted a BP, creditor account debit to BP, because BP increased liability, increased credit. Another creditor liability decreased debit. Just it is the opposite of bills drawn and bills accepted is the opposite of bills drawn. Fine. बाद में क्या हुआ? Anup discounted the bill. Who discounted the bill? Anup. When Anup discounted, is anything happened to Suresh? Please remember, who discounted the bill? It is Anup. When Anup discounted a bill, no entry for Suresh. To take a small example, आपका neighbor कुछ sweets बनाए, आपको क्या हुआ? कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. Your friend got married, आपको क्या हुआ? Nothing to us. Because who discounted the bill, he will receive the money. It is not the I. Here Suresh is not going to receive any money. Here Anup is receiving the money after discounting the bill. So no entry for Suresh. Let me write. I give one note. No entry for Suresh when Anup discounted the bill. Please remember, this is another important key point. Okay, बाद में क्या हुआ देखिए ना. After discounting, what Anup did? Anup gave some money to Suresh. When Anup remit some money to Suresh, Suresh will receive the money. So here what I wrote, received money given to Suresh. When money remitted to Suresh, what happened? Remitted to Suresh means we received money. When we received money, what happened? Cash increased debit. Obviously, discount is to be debited. It is received from whom? Anup. So Anup is to be credited. For this journal entry is the same date. Again I write cash account debit, discount account debit to Anup's account. How much cash is received from Anup? See, 2825. What about discount amount? Discount amount is 300. 3125 being amount received from Anup. Fine. After receiving the money, what happened? Suresh is insolvent. Who is Suresh? Nanu, I, hum. When hum insolvent हुआ तो क्या करना? Earlier to this, new BP was drawn. That new BP is to be cancelled. When new BP cancelled, please remember, when new BP cancelled, your creditor increased and BP, no, it's not BP. The BP is with whom? The BP is with whom? The BP is with whom? That is to be, okay, BP decreased. Now what to do? Creditor increased, as a liability increased, it is to be credited. BP liability decreased, debited. Just it is a reverse entry of bills drawn. Entry will be bills payable account debit to creditor's account. Who is creditor? Anup. What date? On the due date. The due date is 31st October 2020. What date? 31st October 2020. Here BP cancelled, right? The entry is what? New bills payable account debit to Anup's account. What is the bill amount? 17500 17500 being new BP cancelled. Okay, fine. After this, what happened? 50% is recovered from my estate. When it is recovered from my estate, for me, cash decreased credit. This deficiency is to be credit. Given to whom? Anup. Anup is to be debited. Entry is Anup's account debit to cash account to deficiency account. The last entry on the same date, 31st October 2020. Who received money? Anup received money. From whom Anup received money? From Suresh. Means from me. So, Anup's account debit to cash account to deficiency account. How much we have to write? How much is recovered? See how much is recovered? Recovered is 6523 dash 6523 dash 6522. Put together the total is how much? 13,125. Being 50% recovered from my estate. Okay. बाद में क्या करना? What we have to do? We have to prepare Anup's account. See how to prepare this Anup's account? Very simple. Very, very simple, my dear student. How to pass the entries in the books of Anup. BR account debit to Anup. Since BR is in the debit place of journal, so it goes to the credit place of ledger by BR account. It is an amount of rupees 15,000. Fine. Bank account debit, discount account debit to BR. There is no Anup. Anup's account debit to cash or on discount. Cash is in the credit of journal. Discount is in the credit of journal. So it goes to the debit of ledger to cash account, discount account. 4 900 and 100. Okay. बाद में देखिए ना क्या हुआ. This completes. Next one. Anup's account debit to new BP. New BP is in the credit of journal. So it comes to the debit side of ledger. Have a gap of one line and write new BP account as a 17,500. Okay, fine. बाद में no entry. Cash account debit, discount account debit to Anup. Both are in the debit of journal. So it goes to the credit side of ledger. By cash account 2,825. By discount account as rupees 300. Next, new BP to Anup. New BP is in the debit of journal. So it comes to the credit side of ledger. New BP as a 17,500. Okay. Just go through next one. बाद में क्या हुआ. Anup's account debit to cash account to deficiency. Both are in the credit of journal. 2523, 6523 comes to the debit side to cash. 6523 to discount account 6522, 1 rupee less. This completes all your entries in the books of Anup, right? Now you close the Anup's account. Find out the total. Total comes to 35,625. My dear students, I tell you, it's a very important problem that is called mutual accommodation of a bill. Please go through this problem. I go for still 2 or 3 more videos of the similar problem which are asked in your examinations. Okay. Thank you. Please go through all these things and especially the first class of this bills of exchange chapter. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. All the best.